right. Welcome, one and all.
Welcome to quarter 2, Dwarven Axe.
Oh man, 2026. What a
year.
What a year. What a time. What a quarter. What a thing. Um, welcome. We don't have video of us. We're sans video. Look at that. It's the same screen. It's good times. So we
are the ethereal judges this time around.
Yes, we are the ethereal judges. So
I guess we should introduce ourselves.
I guess so. I'm Alex.
I'm Kelsey.
Yeah, and we're Dwarven Axe judges, according to the internet and people at large. So we are joined by our tech department, Axel. She's sitting in the background. She's a little pink cat on the internet, and she's painting dogs right now. So, in any case, we are at the Wyndham Hotel in Burnsville for Renegade 28.
And it's been a blast.
It has been a blast. It's been a riot. A lot of indie games, a lot of good dice rolling.
And a lot of really good submissions.
Really good submissions. We were at, what, 45?
I believe so.
45, jeez, man. And all of them are crazy. You'll see as we go through the pieces that the overall quality was crazy. We gave out more silver coins than I think we ever have in any category. Zach was not here to cash in on his 30 silver coins.
Yeah.
For the Romans, so that's always a good catch, good call.
Right.
But yes, but yeah, Renegade 28. Just as a background on that too, it was a indie. Small skirmish game, Trench Crusade, Space Weirdos, Gaslands.
The first of its kind.
First of its kind, yeah. A lot of disparate little indie games popping up, 8 people at a time, up to 16. It was a lot of fun. Really cool turnout.
Yeah, I did a lot of painting and just kind of chilled out in the painting room that we were in with the Dwarven Axe.
Yeah.
And we had quite a few people yesterday stop in and paint for a little while and just sit around and chat, and it was a good time.
It was really good. Yeah, it was very popular in here, so I'm all about it. I'm looking forward to next year already.
Yes, they are planning on also having the painting room again next year, so if you weren't able to come this year, we would love to see you guys next year.
Yeah, it was a good time. So I'm hoping that we'll see bigger turnout even, but we had almost every seat filled at one point or another. So
I think cool. At one point I went looking for Jamie, one of the runners of Renegade, to go looking for more chairs.
Jeez. Goodness, we really did pack this place out. So, but we should probably get into the entries.
Yes.
Just to kind of get started, and the streaming turned out to be a bust.
Yeah.
So that's a bummer.
Not the category.
No, not the category of stream. Yeah. But the streaming itself, internet, is always a bigger deal than we want it to be, so we're recording and we'll upload this.
And we might look into make this a discussion of maybe doing recording going forward too, just to make it consistent. But that's a topic for a different day. That's
a when we have more sleep and less caffeine kind of topic. So anyway, onward.
Yes.
Onward to glory. So here we go. First entry. Let's see if we got this right. Look at that. Oh.
Speaking of bus.
Yeah. Hit play here. We got a bunch of fancy new stuff. So we've got ourselves Ryan Schneider's bust of the Dwarven bust.
This was the first model in, and it hit hard for, I think, it set the bar really high.
It set the bar super high, so that was really cool to see. Ryan's entry it had a nice warmth to it. Amazing color choices. It really felt like a dwarf, like a good slice of life dwarf. The eyes were phenomenal.
So good.
Good.
The gold on like the shoulder pauldron and up into the helmet was also really well done. I loved the color for the hair. I know one of the smaller critiques that we had was adding more depth into the beard itself. Giving more finer details, more dark details, make it look more like there's actual fine hair.
Yeah. This felt like a really good start. The skin tones were really solid. The hair itself looked really good. The gold, non-metallic golds were really good, but it just Yeah, the beard is a lot of what this model is. The hair is a lot of what this model is, and it needed additional little details that get popped in, and then also I pointed out like shading, like some additional mahoganies or some burgundies, something in the background to give that sense of depth to the hair would have been a really nice touch, and yeah, it was a solid piece all around. Oh. The armor.
Mm-hmm.
The armor felt more like stone than it felt like metal. And I understand that it's a dwarf, so it's probably mithril, but it needed more of a punch to feel like truly metal, because sometimes it read like stone. And so, just small critiques on that was
Adding
was
a little bit more, maybe a reflection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some reflection. Actually seeing some of the hair, that red hair, kind of reflected into the armor would have been really a nice touch. So there's a lot to it that I think that we could have, we would have wanted to see more of. But man, it was close in this category for sure. So.
It did technically win in that category, didn't it?
It didn't technically win.
It did win.
It
did
win
that category.
Yeah, so it's good enough for an axe, that's for certain. But it definitely had its. Hopefully, I'm not screwing that up. It definitely had its win, and a well-deserved win too. So, in any case. Yeah, thank you, Ryan, for your entry. That was fantastic. We hope to see more because it was super, super cool. But in any case, next up, what do we got next up? Our number 2. Oh,
David.
Yeah, David. This thing.
David had been working on this for months. It was a big passion project for him. Mm-hmm. He actually was working on this at the 24-hour paint-a-thon at the Forge, where both of us were at for quite some time.
Yep. Shout out to the Forge.
Yeah.
Forge Comic. Forge down in Chaska, Minnesota.
Yeah. He approached us even then in asking for critiques and criticisms and things that he could work on. And I think at the critiques that we gave him, he took and ran with them. Mm-hmm. And he applied them really well. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a distinct shadow underneath the model itself that's in purple. It's in like a magenta purple, and he took it to heart that it was like, hey, if you're having it stand on the base and you want the lighting to be from above, you need to have a shadow being portrayed on the ground. And he was like, that's a great idea, and ran with it. A lot of the highlighting he ran with as it needing more. And I know that there were several persons, not just us, but several persons that gave him a lot of good feedback on, hey, you might want to tweak this, push this, make this look better, bring this forward, do this. And he really took them to heart and kind of sifted through the finer details to really bring out something that does shine, and it shines really nicely. So yeah, props to David on this.
Yeah, he did a great job.
Yeah. So, little critiques that I would say was we pushed. In some areas we pushed. Kelsey, I know that you had mentioned the glass bottles at one point, and you were mentioning how you wanted him to have the little nuanced details of that, but also like, which he did. The one thing that for a critique that I had that I told him today actually was I wanted more from the skin. I wanted a little more depth to the skin, because right now it feels a little one tone. Mm-hmm. It has a little bit of it sings a good song, but it's all kind of one tone, and it needs more. It needs more punch up. It needs a little more saturation to feel like it's alive, and I think he's kind of missing out on that. And a little bit of a glaze or something along those lines to practice with it, and kind of sit with it to add that life back, I think would be really good. And it's one of those, when do you call it? When do you call a model? And it seemed like he took it as more of a good feedback for next piece, but who knows?
Well, and I know that I was talking with him too today. Even on his base, it's just a square black base, but you liked it because it was showing more height to the piece. Like, this is more toward the top of a building. I would have loved to see something that was like on the next floor down, that's just the peak of something, to show more of that depth.
Yeah, absolutely.
but
Yeah.
that's also not a necessity. It's
No.
just like a suggestion that may, and even just like put it on there and just see if it would work.
Yeah.
If not, then just don't put it on and just keep it as it is.
Yeah, and I think he's got a good direction going on it. So I think he could really enter this into some other competitions, and I think it's fully GW, so he could push that into like Golden Demon to see what it would do. So he's got a good thing going for him in that. So I'm excited to see where he goes with it. I really encourage him to push this a little bit further and take some of the additional critiques that he got from this week or this weekend and run with it more. So
yeah, pretty darn good for getting first in his category on this one too.
Yeah, exactly. First and second, going to that.
Yeah.
Next up, we got another
David.
Which hold on a second. Did we? Ooh. Oh no, this is. So this was something that he entered in just for the fun of it, and man, it got a lot of people talking.
Mecha Blastoise.
Mecha Blastoids. It is as bombastic as you see on screen. It's definitely got that feeling of whimsy and anime style and really popping out. It definitely set a standard in the case for sure. And he was mentioning that he's just having fun with it. He just wanted to put it in, have people look at it and talk about it, and boy, did they.
Yes, they did. I think what I would have loved to have seen, I love that it was clean and kind of fit in character for what a Pokemon, like a fully healed Pokemon would be. I would love to see a different rendition of this as like battle damaged.
Oh yeah, that would be really
like
cool.
Getting the weathering, just being able to see it chipped and all that stuff would be really kind of fun.
Yeah, and I like what he has right now. And there's a part of me that's like, I don't know that I would want to recommend changing it because I think it does what it needs to do.
Right.
He captured what he wanted, and there's nothing wrong with capturing what you want out of a model like this. So. Yeah, it's hard for, and I know that he mentioned that a couple times. He was like, "Well, it's what I wanted." It's like, yeah,
and that's great.
What's more to say,
Yeah, it's your model.
Yeah, and I think that just entering it in for people to have a good time of looking at it and having fun with it is important too. So, but yeah, I think like battle damaged or having an evolution line as a display would be really cool. Cute. That would be fun. So, but yeah, critiques on this, it's hard to do because it's what do you recommend to change on a model that is really kind of just meant to be what it is
and be fun,
yeah. So I mean, you could always push towards highlights and shadows and maybe do a little bit of battle damage, but at the end of the day, is that what he wants? I don't know. So
yeah, that's true.
But all right, well, thank you, David, and we got one more. Yeah.
Now this one.
Ever wonder why we're here? A classic. David really.
This was another model that he really just wanted to show off.
And honestly, this one also, like all the ones that David put in, really did get a lot of people talking. This is the classic Blood Gulch from Red versus Blue specifically. There were small plastic bits that he had as the Red versus Blue characters.
You can kind of see them in that photo right there.
Yeah.
You got blue on the ridge there, and then red at the red base.
Yeah, and it was just people would walk in and knew instantly what it was, and then also would be able to pick out, oh wait, there's little plastic pieces there. I can see it, So it did feel really alive.
Yeah.
So and David really captured that feeling and got a lot of people talking. It was crazy.
It got a lot of people talking, not just about the model, but just about like memories of playing Halo and playing Firefight and all that jazz from back in the day.
Speaking of, I got to make a plug here for the Halo Flashpoint game, for the miniature war games going on here at Renegade 28. I know, you can roll your eyes all you want, but it's the truth. Really fun war game. But anyway, all Halo all the time. However, David, I want to say critiques on this, but I don't have any. It's fun.
Right.
You captured exactly what you wanted out of it, and you got people talking about your art in a way that I don't know I don't know if any, there's rarely a piece that really does the same thing that we've seen before that did, kind of a similar thing. So congratulations on basically winning the
best creative.
Yeah, the best. Oh yeah, this won best creative, didn't it? Yeah. So best creative award, but also just having that, bringing people together to have discussions about it. So.
And that's basically what the whole point is to bring people together and talk about art and being able to relive moments from your childhood or your teen years and understand, like, this is bringing those memories back.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah, exactly.
It shows that art can have more emotion than just being a painted miniature.
Yeah.
Or a figure.
Yeah.
Or even a canvas. But
that's deep, yo.
Very deep.
Anyway, but
thank you, David.
Thank you, David. Looking forward to what he brings the next time.
Yes.
So, all right. Next up, Jace.
All right.
Trask. This was a really interesting piece. It was big, bombastic. Not the biggest Trask that we've seen.
I've heard rumor rumbling of many a Tarrasque.
Many a Tarrasque. I'm not looking forward to November for that one. But this one was definitely had that upper feel of a D&D model that was going to scare players.
Right.
Jace really captured nicely the skin tones and kind of the feeling of what I want from the skin to be. He really pulled in, hey, you should be looking at the face, at the mouth, putting that blue in there to make sure that it pops, doing highlights, things of that nature. He really did a good job on that.
And I feel like the dry brushing was really well executed on almost every part of this model.
Yeah, there wasn't any spots that I could see, like looking at the model directly, that really popped out to me as being like overbrushed or without control, which was really nice to see. It wasn't. It felt very organic and very, very well living.
Like it looks like a dinosaur.
Yeah, it does. It really does. It pops out nicely. I was gonna say the things that I would point to is like next steps is just you can push those highlights more, push a little bit more of the shadows, maybe do some of the ridge spines a bit differently because they kind of feel stone-like. Or just kind of a plain bone, and you can kind of play with that. I mean, these things are supposed to be gargantuan, so maybe adding some small trees on it or something where it came up out of the ground, and there you go.
Well, and I think that was another topic, was just like working a little bit more with the basing too.
Yeah, pushing a bit more of, give it that scale. If you're looking for, if this is a piece that goes on a D&D table, depending on what you want the scale to be, maybe stick with that. But yeah, having very small trees, show how big this thing is. Give that all. Don't be afraid to really push that feeling of size. So
for sure.
But yeah, thank you, Jace, for entering this. And Jace always has such unique pieces, which we'll see.
Yeah,
here.
We'll be seeing a few more.
Yeah, like this one. Hey, look at that. With sacrifice in the open category. This was a really good piece.
Yeah.
It had a lot of momentum, a lot of feeling. It was definitely captured kind of that moment in time look and feel. So it has a kind of a old school Greco-Roman-esque feel to it, and he's definitely challenging himself with skin tones and different types of skin tones.
Right, and that showing it with two different variants just on one piece. Trying to find the right moment here. There we go. I think the skin tones are really, really well done. It would be nice to see a little bit more definition.
Yeah, like here, I'm gonna pause it there. You can see that like the skin tones are nicely highlighted in some areas here, but it's kind of more of a mid-tone. You get a nice separation between the shadow, but then it's just kind of mid-tone, and you don't really have anything that really pops up as like brightness.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, there's no sweat. There's no additional kind of surface level of oils, things that would make the skin glisten a bit more in a sun or even in a cloudy day. Something that makes it kind of give that sheen.
Mm-hmm.
And being that he's kind of missing that, it doesn't really pop as much. So yeah, like back here, you can see that some of the shadow is from the lighting.
Right.
But really, he could just take a light and apply where he wants his, take a picture with a light above it, and then really find where he wants his shadows to be, and push, I would say push shadows more than you think,
Mm-hmm.
and then your highlights a bit more than you think too.
You got to be careful with that though, so you're not creating what most people like to call them as islands, muscle islands.
Yeah, you don't want muscle
You
islands.
want to make sure that you keep connection because muscle tissue connects to each other.
Yeah.
So you don't want to make muscle islands, but you need to add more depth and more definition so that people know like you're painting that deltoid. You're popping that deltoid. It's an active muscle being used.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and being that pretty much all of this model is skin, you have to be able to push that because it is a main focus of the piece. While it is emotion, there's a lot of emotion in here, you have to push that. You have to push those skin tones here. We can pause there. Like you have to push those skin tones more because you can, if you look at this model, most of it is, well over half of it is all skin tones. So you have to be able to really focus on that as your main highlight or your main focus, and make sure that your highlights are high and your lowlights are low.
Mm-hmm.
So, but an excellent entry from Jace for sure. So, any other thoughts?
I think that's pretty much covered.
Yeah, I would say so. Next up,
so adorable,
so cute. So this Jace took this category. He took fantasy single with his rogue model, his rogue cat, who apparently his cat's real name is Rogue.
Yes.
So, very cute. The lighting on this was fantastic.
Yeah, this one was one of those that people were talking about quite often too when they would see it in the case, and they're just like, how did he do it?
Yeah, and this is a interesting dichotomy to the sacrifice one, where you definitely have a handle on lighting for this, and it really shines in that, like, you have your light source being above, but you're not illuminating immediately the space below because that's where light would fall off, and then it would, it's going to separate a bit from the lantern to be hitting the ground and the figure, so you have an understanding of how the light source should look. So in the skin tones, you needed to push that more.
Mm-hmm.
In this was an excellent display of using shadow and light and warm and cold to really push those values out and have that lighting be understood.
Adding the drama.
Yeah, sneaking cat. But yeah, the overall though, this was well highlighted. It had, like you can see here, the eyes are well defined. The lighting was really good. The blade popped a bit and glowed a bit. It was a fun piece to just watch and look at. And so yeah, I heard from several persons that were like, "Oh, which one won fantasy?" Oh, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
Yep. So
there was not really any quarrel or quandary about that one.
Nope. No. None whatsoever from that. So that was a lot of fun. So,
but that another, not related really to the model itself, but to Jace, it was really nice, and you'll see some of his other pieces here coming up. The variety, like the wide variety of paint styles he's been testing and trying, and just being able to see how he's growing by trying different things and different methods and keeping things to that era. And you'll see a couple others.
Oh, yeah.
I think 2 more entries from him.
Yes.
2 or 3.
Yeah, something along those lines. We'll see Jace a couple more times.
So just seeing him go from a classic Greek themed model to this being whimsical, a bit more dark, and developing more of that OSL effect, it was so fun to see.
Yeah. yeah, I'm trying to see how many more pieces that he has too. He's got 3 more after this. But yeah, like him bringing in a slew of pieces to show off, and they're all kind of uniquely different, was
It was a treat.
it was a treat, and definitely people walked in and grabbed different pieces to really kind of run with, you know, and really oogle over. And you know, Jace being running the gamut of all the categories, he definitely had the corner market on eyes on it. So it was fun to see.
For sure.
But yeah, so we'll move on from here and go to the Wastelander. So
I recognize this model right off the bat. It's one that Mono Mindworks Studios is new models. I believe they call it Jericho, but I'm not sure. I like the model. I think he did a really good job. This was another great practice with his skin tones. I loved the atmosphere that he had it in. The gun looks really well worn out in the wasteland theme.
Yep.
I wish pushing the skin tones again in comparison to the previous model. And then the pants are a little washed out. Yeah, the pants are a bit washed out, but like you can see on this picture right here that the bottles that he has with liquid in them look well executed. I wish there was something behind it, you know, like it's not just a black void behind these bottles. There should be like a khaki-esque kind of color to give it that reflection of the pants. But like overall though, this is a really well executed part of the model. You know, he definitely kind of knows that feeling of what it should look like, which is great. But like you said, the skin tones, I think we even mentioned this during judging too. Excuse me, the skin tones are just, they're a little too bright in all of the places. And while Jace does have the pink for the shadow color, it needs more. It needs to push more, and then it runs the risk of the muscle islands, and so avoiding that is definitely important. But yeah, and then the pants being a little washed out. I think adding in some additional colors to the pants, even push some blues and purples into them to signify like dirt or grime or something along those lines. And it doesn't have to be a lot. No, you don't need it a lot.
No. So, you know, I think he captured the mood well, but it is just, this is a point that I would say you're probably about halfway. You're probably a good halfway on, but you got a lot of skin tone. Yeah, I think another couple hours you would have it pretty much exactly where you want it. Yeah. But that skin tone you can do a lot with, and you should look at either pushing it more or the next piece that you work on, really seeing if you can play with that skin tone a lot. So, but yeah, excellent piece from Jace. Yes, nice job, Jace. Yeah. Next up, we got another Jace. Oh my god. We got the Ghost King. The Ghost King. This was a cool model. Look at that texture on that cloak. Oh, hold on. We can pause this. Look at this. Wow. So cool. Look at that texture. Breathe it in. No, this was a really cool model overall. He did a great job capturing the metals and texture. I think just kind of a universal thing with him, the skin tone needed to be a little bit more in depth. The metal, like the black metal, I could have used less wash, more of even adding in like a purple or give some corruption with rust. Giving more definition. Yeah, giving a little more definition to it would be great. You can play a lot with color tones and even in black armor, it's going to be like purples and even bright ice yellows and down to blues. So don't be afraid to push those kind of colors around and then darken it down or slap it with a really dark blue wash or glaze to really force that dichotomy between the blue and the red. Right. For me, it's I love the skin tone that you have here on the sword, on the hand with the gauntlet. I wish that your face was more
deepened in color and not. It looks like it's just missing.
Yeah, we'll pause it there.
So
yeah.
it just needs. It has a lot of those holes and gaps. I want to see that holes and gaps.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Give me more of that kind of undeadness. You can push that with some highlights and some shadows. A lot of your skin tones. This is just an exercise in going through your skin tones. So I'm sorry we're picking on it, but. You can push a lot of skin tone to playing with a lot of different colors, and with dead skin, don't think of it as like you only have to do green. You can do green as like your base tone, and then add in some glazes of blue and purple
or
and
yellows.
Yellows, skin tones, and then always bring it back with the green. And like constantly knock it back with the green, but all those underlayers will help sell the idea of it being formerly skin, but then
right. And this is even something that I've been trying to work on at a really small scale. I'm working on an AOS army that has zombies, so it's like I have some that are like base coated in blue, some base coated in yellow green, some in purple. So it's this is a great base layer.
Yeah.
I would love to see more depth and more definition to the face, so that because I love the crown. The crown is awesome, and the cloak is awesome, and the fur cape is really nice. I want that same level of detail brought into the face.
Yeah. I would say the fur. Speaking of the fur needs a bit more to me. Just a touch more. It needs some additional highlights or at least some texture to really sell it more as fur. Right now, it just feels like it's a little bit of just a dry brush and a wash underneath, and that's about it, just with browns. But you need something more to the fur than just that to kind of push. A lot of furs have like blacks and browns and yellows and whites and tans and grays, and it runs the gamut of different tones that run through even a dog, let alone whatever animal his cloak is made from. So I think you could get away with doing more to the fur, and that would really boost it up and push the eye towards the face as well as the fur. So
cool.
Yeah, thank you, Jace. Hold on. Oh, we got last one.
Last one with Jace.
So Jace was able to let us know that in, I believe you said World War II, his grandpa drove this exact vehicle.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's why he called it Grandpa's rig. And so it was awesome to see kind of have that history to it, and you could tell that this was a passion project. There were a couple historical guys that rolled through the hall, and they all pointed it out. And so it was really fun to see. And yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
To look at and kind of glance over, take in.
Well, and what to have a memory of your grandfather, like by having a model that, like a piece of him, basically.
Yeah. So I felt like the weathering was pretty accurate. The feeling of the vehicle in its environment was really good. It definitely. I wish there was some models with it, some people standing with it.
Yeah.
I know that's not necessarily the focal point, but it being a diorama piece, I would have loved to have that little extra action and scale. Some highlights on those small items, and kind of just capturing highlights elsewhere would have been great too. Boost up that contrast between them. So.
Yeah. Or even if you didn't want to put people in there, you could do like a woodland animal or something like that on the base.
Yeah.
To give that scale, that would work as well.
Yep. Yeah. The decal work was phenomenal as well, I will say.
And like you mentioned, the weathering is really good too.
Yeah. I felt like, as with other things that you've brought forward, Jace, I would say adding highlights, pushing shadows, and then adding highlights and getting back to kind of going back and forth between highlights and knocking it back with shadows and kind of building in
pushing that paint around to those levels will help you make it feel more alive. And yeah, I think this is a great place to be, because if you wanted to leave it here, it was a great display piece. If you wanted to push it to the next level, it's definitely add those small details, the small textures, focus where you want the eye to go and push towards that. So
For sure.
yeah, very cool.
Awesome.
Sam got Captain Claw.
One of the Red Corsairs.
Yeah, not Gadget. Not going against Gadget.
No.
A fantastic piece. It really stood out. In the case of grays and greens and things, this was a bright, shining red.
Red and gold.
Red and gold. It definitely pops on the table as well as in the case. The metallics were well placed. I felt like the black lining was really good. It definitely caught all the edges as you'd want to really define what the armor pieces felt like, so it never felt like they got lost in the piece. Things felt defined really well. So
overall, just solid.
yeah, it's a good piece. I imagine this is part of an army, and it's a really solid piece for an army. My biggest critiques on it are more of, I want more detail. I want more depth on the red, because right now the red feels rather flat. So pushing highlights, pushing shadows.
Giving that volume to the shape, especially like in the backpack, you could bring up that volume by adding in highlights.
Yeah, and even like pushing down into shadows with purples, like very, very dark or very, very thin glazes of purple near where you want the shadows to be pushed into. And you can even push that on skin tone or the metal to tie them together. This is an excellent show in like black lining, but again, it needs more to that to really sing, I think. So,
and we'll see some other pieces that kind of show what we mean too.
Yeah.
But this was a great piece though.
Yeah.
Especially for gaming.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, this
top piece for gaming.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if this is in an army and on a table, it's definitely gonna shine. It's not as a standalone model, it's good, but with a unit that looks just like it in that same quality, it'll just shine on the table. And so I'd be damn proud to see this on the table to play against it for sure. So as an opponent, this would definitely, you could definitely tell that this is a hero. So
awesome.
But thank you, Sam.
Yes, thank you, Sam.
Another one of them, Sam.
We got our BattleTech.
Oh yeah, some BattleTech, the Rusty Brigade. So this one definitely had a BattleTech's always an interesting one because all the bots just have different vibes to them. So I'm trying to find my water. Dang! Oh, here it is. Found it.
Yeah, it's always fun to kind of judge BattleTech because it's different from Warhammer. It's different from a big piece like what Jace did with like his Greek piece.
Yep.
So it's always fun to see BattleTech.
Yep. I think that the weathering on this was really good. These feel unique. I love the big rockets on that dude's back. It feels kind of kit bashy. It feels kind of Dark Mechanicus. It has a sense of uniqueness to it that I haven't seen before in any BattleTech. So that was fun to kind of experience.
No, like you said, Gaslands kind of vibe.
Yeah, it's got Gaslands kind of vibes to it. I really like the dichotomy between the bluish purple and the red rusty kind of ground, that Mars kind of ground. You did a great job in capturing that feeling and having like a neutral kind of feel between.
Well, and showing like it's lived in this universe for God knows how long.
Yeah.
And that's always fun to see. You always see a lot of people that are just doing clean pieces. Oh,
we have a correction.
Oh?
This is Shane Kellner's, not Sam Williams.
Oh.
Apologies for that, Shane.
Sorry,
so this
Shane.
is Shane's piece. That changes my entire opinion on this. No, I know Shane very well. He's a great guy and a fantastic person. No, this is fantastic work for kit bashing as well, because I recognized one of the guns on the guy's back, and that's a gun from an armiger. So it's a really cool piece. But yeah, like same critiques towards Shane. This is a really cool addition. I think if this isn't for BattleTech, it might be for Flames of Orion, which is super cool to see. And I'm excited for more of this from Shane, because I do think that Shane has a unique style that kind of pairs well with this, and so I think that he can really kind of take the rust feel, and I think your color choices on it are really, really good.
Yes, I would agree with that.
So little critiques, add some highlights. Some metallic highlights would do really well. A nice dry brushing of a bright metallic before you knock it down with that rust color would help kind of push that tone. And it's maybe playing with some blue OSL in places would be nice to pop if you want. But that's just a small recommendation for it.
Yeah, I think with the edge highlighting, like Alex was saying, will pop out a lot more certain things to draw your eye to those places. It's also hard to keep that consistent over a course of an entire unit.
Yes,
we understand that as well.
Is, yeah. But having that in your mind's eye can really kind of push you in a direction to keep you honest with it. So, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Shane, for your entry.
Sorry about the typo.
Yeah, I had to double check. I'm like, I thought Shane entered this, but here we are. So, anyway, thank you, Shane. Devin.
This was fun.
This is fun. Yeah, we got to see the progress of this one on the Discords.
Yes.
And what a fantastic piece. This thing's older than I am.
That's crazy.
I'm old. I'm not
so
that
old.
I'm not that old, but I'm old enough. But yeah, the orc, so much good freehand, so much good little pieces to look at.
Well, and painting it in like the Spanish style.
Oh, this is just classic Rogue Trader era GW style stuff, and I couldn't believe that he got that small. It'll loop around, but that small checkerboard on the back is crazy. Is crazy. Yeah, critiques on this. He was a gold winner for this with a coin, and
he was up in contention for sci-fi single.
Yeah, and for the model itself, like look at that backpack. That's crazy. I think the main critiques that we had were more towards the basing rather than the model itself.
Mm-hmm.
Like I felt like the model itself was super well executed and well thought out, but there was yellows on the basing that just felt rather washed. It felt kind of hollow.
Well, and I think we were hoping that there would be a little bit more dustiness, I think, as well. Just adding in some of the weathering powders would really help sell, like, this thing's been here a while, or, like, just recently the dust is just starting to settle, and this thing just crashed in here, and this guy's here to take apart things.
Yeah, and I there was a bit of I would love to see rust or some chipping on the rivets, scratches, rust effects, stuff like that going on with the piece overall, and so it would I think that it would be the next step up, and it's not that hard to push it up a bit more to that level. Oh, hold on a second. We got Jamie here. Jamie and Nate. They're taking off, I think.
Hello.
So.
Goodbye.
No, you getting out of here? They're leaving.
See ya.
Bye.
See you next time.
Bye. Bye. Thanks for coming. Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Bye.
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 I can cut this out.
You don't have to cut that out in post. It's what we live for. But yeah, honestly, Devin, this is a fantastic piece.
It
would
was
love
really
to see it
fun
more.
to like talk about it in judging.
Yeah, I think boosting a little bit more on the basing to think about the timing of things for the basing, and think of the scene around it is going to be what pushes this over the edge. Because the little, like the freehand everywhere is fantastic, and honestly, it's just little things that would push this on the basing as a piece.
Yeah, just gotta sell it a little bit more.
Yep. Yeah. So, anyway,
Right.
thank you, Devin.
Thanks, Devin.
Next up, Chris. Tyler.
Chris, our next door buddy.
Chris?
Yeah, he works at the D20.
Orbs of Destiny? I
Yes.
thought that was Chad.
Was it?
I don't know, man. Names are hard. Mr. Tyler. Fantastic piece. This this piece is really cool for a D&D piece. It shines where you want it to for a D&D model. There are critiques, for sure, but just having a presence, it's really well executed. I would want to see more highlights, less wash. See the metal kind of pop a bit more. It feels a little one note at the moment. So adding in some additional highlights and additional layers of true metallics would be really good.
Yeah, and you could do that with a wash, a brown, usually a sepia or a brown wash, some sort of brown wash, and then just going over with another pass of gold on a quick dry brush of gold over top of that would pop that out really nice.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it and there's just little things that you can do to make this pop. Same with the gold, like a little bit of sepia, and then going over it again with the same gold. The cloak having, like right here, you can tell the cloak is just a little too muddy. I like the tone for near the bottom, but you definitely want to, even dry brushing or going over this again with the initial color will make it pop. You want this to be shadows, not necessarily your highlights.
Well, and you could even start with like a darker brownish cream and start from the bottom and work your way up to the top, and then go over with another dry brush and just start layering it, making your brightest top toward the top of the shoulder pauldrons.
Yeah, exactly. So it's more of a you have a lot of play with this. So I don't think that this is necessarily the end.
No,
but it's definitely a good start.
For sure.
So thank you, Chris or Chad, or insert.
We can go with Chris as what's on here.
Yeah,
you can always correct us on the video.
On the Discord, yeah. Shout out to Orbs of Destiny as well for having some amazing dice.
Yes.
Next door. So.
I bought a set of dice, and I actually the first roll I made on a D20 was a natural 20.
It's just. They're 100% of the time going to give you crits.
Yes. All the time.
All the time. Anyway, next up.
Joe
Noonan.
Joe was hanging out with us for most of the weekend.
Yes, he was. He was having a grand time here in the painting hall and talking everyone's ear off, which was fantastic to hear. He was everyone's companion when painting, which was awesome. And so shout out to Joe for keeping everyone company, which was a great time. I personally have a soft spot for Joe's style when it comes to oranges, like a desaturated orange and that white blue sci-fi feel.
Mm-hmm.
It gives me such a, I don't know, it just tickles me in a place for comfort that I'm really in for on a model as well as some art. And so this piece really spoke to me in a way that I really enjoyed.
It's just such a fun piece, like the bubblegum hair or the bubblegum blue hair into a bubblegum pink is just so fun.
Yep.
And just the pants itself remind me of like velvet pants from like the 60s, 70s.
Yeah, they definitely have that velour kind of feel to them, you know. He was actually the one that brought this up, and he was asking questions, if he needed to do a little more black lining to push the different sections of the piece out. And I would agree. It was one of the contention points that I was kind of like, well, it needs a little more, and that was definitely what he needs to do. I feel from like almost a comic book-esque style.
Right, you don't have to go like full black line.
No.
Black lining, that would push it too far, almost into Borderlands territory.
Yeah, but pushing a little bit of shadows would definitely be beneficial. I think.
Especially underneath like the breasts, showing like giving that definition, like this is cloth versus actual skin.
Or between the midriff and the pants, you know, having the pants, like the little creases have a little bit of extra. I mean, even like a Tamiya's panel liner black would be enough. You don't need a lot, and that stuff looks really strong until it dries. Kind of idea. It does not need a lot to push, but there is something about it that just it needed that extra little step. And he was the one that pointed it out, and I would agree. I think his color choices are excellent, though. Like how he has them presented. So,
I would agree.
Yeah, I think we talked to Joe about this for a long time, and like he has a really good handle on how to do art, and so more of his style, more of his take is just kind of experimentation, and I think that was captured well in this.
I agree. And this is a fun piece.
Yeah, it is. So next up we got Joe.
Yeah, another Joe.
Another Joe.
Fantasy single.
This is a small model.
Yeah,
it's very small.
It's, what, about a little over an inch?
Yeah, it's a very small model, and I think he captured the skin tones well and kind of the overall feel of the piece.
Given the size of it.
Yeah, and it feels gritty. And he definitely captures skin tones well. Like I love, like if you look at this right here, I wanted to point out on the arm that's holding the axe, the blue underside is really cool, because I think it shows a nice shadow that you normally would not see on other skin tones. So he has a good handle on how to do skin tones and do differentiation, but it really sings well.
Well, you can even see some of that blue on the back of the axe too, where like the stone meets. It's just showing that undertone of blue there too, so it's giving that definition.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, right here. That's a perfect example of it. So, and he does a great job of kind of capturing all of that in a very small package. I would just like it to be a little more tight. The paints felt a little muddled at times on this piece. I think it has to do more with the size of the model than his actual skill or ability. So,
and that's always the challenge.
Yeah, and you know when you're entering in a competition like this, it's always a little bit of a, well, are the judges going to want to see this, or is this is this a me thing? Is this a model thing? Is this the judges thing? And in this case, I think it was a model thing.
Yeah.
More than anything. So, but. Yeah, I'd be excited. He said that he has like one in a 54 millimeter scale, and I'd love to see what that looks like if he basically just did this again. Use this as a template and built onto it.
For sure.
Yeah.
And even adding more of the same blue tones, even in like creeping in from underneath where he's holding the axe and bringing it forward.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah, adding that in as like the shadow, because it's a nice soft shadow. It's not a hard shadow, which is really nice. So. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, fantastic work. And then Rocky.
Rocky.
So I have not, as of the time of this recording, seen Project Hail Mary. But for those that have imbibed and enjoyed the movie, they said that this was very accurate. So to Rocky. So I'm excited now more than ever to see the movie.
I will have to see it at some point too. I have never seen it. The vibe that it gave me was Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, and Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
You get those stone taluses. That's kind of what it was giving me the vibe of.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. I think this is. He explained it as this was an experimentation kind of thing, and he was just having fun with it. And honestly, more power to him, because if this just feels accurate to the actual character in the movie, then he crushed it.
Right.
So, and he got a lot of people talking about it. So it wasn't like this was who's that? People recognize it and understood, and really were excited to explore more with it. So
Well, and it's one thing to take time to study how do I paint a rock. This is a great, excellent example of like picking up a rock and studying it and painting something that's not a rock into a rock.
yeah, I think this might be a failing on my side if I can bring us on this journey. I think this is more of a failing on my side of not understanding how to judge this.
Right.
Because as an artist, sometimes you rely on a model to kind of tell you the story that you should be telling. And with a rock, it's like, it's a rock. How do you tell a story? How do you tell a story with a rock that is more than just basing?
Even on that, it'll cycle through again.
Yeah.
But you can tell, like on the arm, he's doing layers or stress marks from rock, like growing or from lava flows and stuff like that. Texture, scratches.
Yeah.
Like he's taken the time to do all that. Like
Yeah,
even
yeah.
on the top, seeing like a band on the top middle part of that rock, showing that there's a different layer of some sort of mineral or some other form of rock that's cutting through that to create different variation. It's very cool.
Yeah, it's really well done, and like I said, I think it's more of a failing on my side as a judge more than anything to know if this piece is wholly accurate, and honestly, it doesn't matter if it's wholly accurate.
No.
It gets the emotion and the feeling through, and that's what's important.
Well, and this is something that Joe wanted to work on, and I see it as a great way to practice.
Yeah.
This is a great test model on just going out, finding something that's in the world, our current world, take it back, and find a way to incorporate it into your painting.
Yeah.
And studying it. A lot of famous artists in canvas painting will do still lifes and practice like making sure they get skin tones right, shadows, everything like that. This is basically a 3D rendition of looking at a rock and painting it.
Yeah.
Which I think he did it really well.
Yeah.
Good job. It looks like granite.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, thank you, Joe, for these pieces and just your presence in the painting room for this weekend. It was fantastic. So thank you so much. Next up,
Reese
with the Empire Handgunner.
Look at that pinstripe.
Look at that. Look at them thick cheeks. This is in a series of models that Reese had done where he captured that old world vibe really, really well. The skin tones are fantastic. The cloths are really nice. That pinstriping, the highlighting on it, the weathering on the bag, the gun itself, like it all shines so nicely. It's a well executed model. It earned a gold coin for sure. But man, yeah, it's just impressive to say the least.
Well, in showing the definition, like how well you did the definition, it was great to see.
Yeah, it absolutely was, which was just wild. So I was like, you'll see in the other pieces that he entered, like he has a good handle on what highlights should do, and I think that's a commendable to say the least. I would push him to tightening up some of those aspects, giving more shadow, giving more. I think he's got a good handle on where things need to go, but additional colors, popping in some additional things. But this might be part of a force, so I might have to retract my statement. But it feels like there isn't a particular spot that I should be looking. Like in this shot, there is a sense of I'm more looking at the pants than I am at the face. I'm looking at the shoulder more than I am at the gun or what have you. So I'm not. My eye kind of traces along it oddly, but that might just be me.
This is where I wish we had like a draw tool where
Yeah.
it'd be like how it would be fun to see like our rendition of where our triangle or trapezoid is. So for me, it's like the tops of the knees, either of the knees. So it kind of flip flops between the two knees, and then goes up to the top right shoulder, and then it goes up to the highlight of the gun, and then it comes back down.
Yep.
But it flip flops between the pinstriping and the yellow pants.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
it's like I need a direction of just one of those two.
Yeah.
Either way, like it's a beautiful piece.
Yeah, it's a fantastic piece. So
I think for me, I would love to see a little bit of weathering on the bottom of the pants.
yeah,
Not much. You don't need much.
no.
Just a little bit.
And I think that this is a good example of a piece that is well executed and in that very clean style for GW. And it probably looks incredible with the rest of its force, because I can't imagine that this is just a single
No.
standalone piece. So I'd be interested to see the rest of the army if it's complete, because it probably looks incredible on the table.
Yeah.
So and next up we got another Reese.
Oh, this one was fun.
Yeah, this was a big demon, the magma. The magma was incredible.
On the back and the head and the sword with its texturing.
Yeah, it was
Ugh.
excellent. I think in that this is a beautiful rendition of using different reds and purples to really make things pop. And especially with that magma, it breaks things up nicely. I would almost want to see some pairing in some
magma.
blues with the purples to push it, because it has a lot of red. So, and then with the magma too, you get the red orange. So there's not really a lot of like cool colors that pair up with the bright, the bold, bright, warm colors.
The contrasting colors.
Yeah, because you want to have something that makes it pop instead of just kind of feeling samey. So, yeah, it was really cool to take a look at.
Even if you wanted to do something like on the base with like a blue color, you could add like a pool where it's reflecting back up.
Yeah, something that would really, even a glowing crystal, or I'm there's not a lot on the model itself because it's not a huge model, but it's like I said, it's well executed. But having something that is going to be at least having a blue or some sort of dichotomy of color to push, or like green.
You could also almost push the verdigris on the sword a little bit more to give you that contrast.
That's a good point. Actually, the verdigris on the sword would probably be beneficial, and then you could add like chipping and scratches on it, so that's where your cool color comes from, which wouldn't be a bad idea either.
Yeah, the rust effect on the sword was really well done.
Yeah. This was a well executed model. It was gorgeous to look at, and very impressive. So, yeah, not much else that I can say about this one, Reese. This is super cool. So, next up we got Reese. Unit.
This unit we went back and forth on for a while.
Yeah, this actually took the category. I got a lot of feedback on this that people were like, "Oh yeah." Yeah, the moment that they saw that, they're like, yeah, that unit, for sure.
Yeah.
Should have taken the category, and it did. The little nuances, the scratches, the details are fantastic.
And it was consistent throughout the entire squad.
Yeah, it was crazy good. The hand-done details, like here, we'll pause it here. All of that script is all freehand. And it was fantastic. It's either it's got to be freehand, or it's one of the best applications of a decal I've ever seen.
Right.
Either way, it's fantastic. So I was thoroughly impressed by it.
I was also really happy. It's hard to see on this piece. The wood grain that he painted on the stock of this weapon was really well executed. They didn't have it as much on the crossbow, but it was on the stock of the gun. It was on the head guy, the guy with the big wood bracket on his head in his arms.
The stock.
Yes, the stock. it was just really cool. It was nice to see that those little details get pulled out.
Mm-hmm.
And then the definition on the paper was so cool. The depth that was on the paper
Yeah.
for the book, the sheet on the stock guy, like it was just consistent throughout the entire army that had paper on it.
Yeah. Additionally, the skin tones were really well done and really well executed. Felt really good about that. Some of the critiques that I had were more around the reds and the leathers. So the cloaks and the leathers, they felt like they were kind of just washed on, and then a bit of a highlight, if that. And while well executed, like I don't feel like they were washed out necessarily, but I needed more from them. I wanted so much more to push those highlights up, because I feel like you have a nice mid-tone and shadow, and they're well executed, so they don't feel like they're completely washed out, but having those additional highlights would elevate this, I think, more than what it is, which is already a really high level. So
Yeah, and I know that another topic of discussion that we had when we were talking about possibility of putting this up for Best in Show with all the other first place in their category
yeah,
was the muddiness of the back of the models.
yes, yeah,
Make sure you're bringing, like I can tell what you're bringing your highlights right up to the top, to the face. You're doing top-down method, which is great. Make sure you're bringing that consistency to the back as well. It's great to have a nice forward view of that top down, the brightest highlight, so it draws your eye up to the face, which is great. But you'll have to do that on the back side as well.
yeah. Not having it on the back, you're missing out on an entire section, and that is difficult to. If you're missing that, it's gonna miss overall, and so not having it is like missing an entire part of the model, and so yeah, having that would elevate this unit to being just probably best in show material for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you, Reese. Great pieces that you entered in. All right, Logan. So this is one of the two,
I believe two
that we have for that were Golden Demon entries, and what a piece! It's huge, by the way.
Yeah.
And impressive to say the least. Gorgeous. I actually I'm gonna. Ooh, I missed it. No.
We'll come back to it.
Yeah, we'll come back to it. I was gonna say some of the best portions of this are kind of like the transitions of the stone to like cloth.
You loved this.
I want to specifically point out, like, this cloth that is either made out of green stuff. It's impressive. The shadowing on it is really good. The highlights are really good on it. I think that the piece is this is a really cool portion to kind of sell the feeling of scale and softness that the model has overall, especially with the sister laying on the ground with the dove flying onto them is just a really nice touch. I think it's a great setting, a great scene setting kind of feel to it.
I know that Logan worked on the wings for quite a while.
Yeah.
She was working on them as we do paint nights at the Forge on Tuesdays. She asked a lot of critiques and advice on certain aspects of the model as she was working on it. And this project was going on for months.
Yeah, it went on for a long time, I know. Which is always good to get good feedback and hear back from other painters, kind of where direction you might be able to go, and taking that feedback and running with it can make a big difference in what other people will see, especially for judging, as well as things that you may have missed or overlooked. And so it's great to hear. This is what I wanted to pause on. The stonework to the cloth kind of transition is really good. I love this. The lighting is very well done and executed well. I feel like that kind of glowing yellow is really well executed. So it has the feeling that I'd want for that transition. So that's really awesome to see. And I wish there was actually more. I know I pointed this out to you, Kelsey, but I wanted more of that stonework to be higher, because it feels like this transformation is nearly complete, and I want it to be kind of in the middle of that transition. I want it to be in the middle rather than the last third or last fourth. But that's more of a personal thing to say.
You got the highlight of the hair.
Mm-hmm.
I know one thing you mentioned about the sword is the lighting of the red on the backsides, on the undersides of the blade, felt off.
Yeah, there's you can't really see it in this picture, I guess, but near the hilt and then kind of like halfway down the blade on the backside, the reds didn't match up with the base, and that felt a little odd. Maybe it was my positioning on how I was looking at it, but it just nothing lined up on that. And that was a little bit of I feel like a miss. The yellow from the glow effect also felt a little odd as well on placing. So it felt a little too bright for what the glow effect would, depending on what your light source is. Without more information, like if you have like an angelic light from above, but it's not displaying on the base, I don't know what more we can kind of gather for information. So I only have what I have to go off of, and the red undertone is just the reflection of it is in odd places for me. It looks good,
Yeah.
but the placement feels weird, and so it's just kind of a little bit of an off area. And I know you mentioned about the skin tone on the underside of the arm.
Yes.
If I remember correctly.
I think we have a close-up of that one, too.
I don't know. Well,
Maybe.
I mean,
I think there's a close-up of the dove arm.
yeah, there's a close-up of the hand with the dove, which I don't think captures what you were looking at. But, like, you can see on here, you can kind of get it. It's really far away.
Right. It just feels like the volumetric is a little off on that
Oh,
arm.
there you go. That might be a little better. I think it's more on the other side of the arm
Right.
than here. But
I just feel it. And it's hard to describe when you see pictures of it versus when you see it in person. It just feels like the backside of the arm should be a little bit more highlighted than what it actually is.
yeah,
I wouldn't go like 3 shades higher. I'd maybe do 1.
yeah,
Just to make, especially toward the top of it, because you're trying to grab that essence of it being higher than the face and bringing your triangle points.
yeah,
Because right now, when you see the full composition of it, it's almost a straight up and down, and then it slants off to its left, your right, at looking at that sister battle that's just getting petrified.
yeah,
So you gotta make your composition needs to be there.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. You need something more to it than it can't be stark. It needs to be softer. I think would be where I'd go with it. I know my last critique that I had for it was the eyes. I felt like one of the eyes kind of drifts off. I'm gonna hit play. I don't know if we captured a good picture of the eyes themselves, but the eyes feel a little off, and it's just kind of placement of where the eyes are looking that feels a little bit weird. I know you can get away, or you can not necessarily get away with it, but you can help that by having it looking at its nose, as weird as it sounds, because its focal point will be closer. But yeah, they had a little bit of a feeling of like one eye is wandering a little too far to one side, and on something that has like the face being the big focal point, you have to make sure that those eyes are dead set. And so it would be an item to either fix or leave alone and just be aware of it for the next time that you approach a model like this. I know that this was a monumental task that you went through.
Yeah,
so.
hours of work on this piece.
Yeah, and it's impressive to say the least. So
it did get a commemorative. It won its category here.
Yeah, it won its category for sure.
It was up for contention for best in show.
Mm-hmm.
It did in Golden Demon win a commendation pin.
Yeah, a bronze commendation pin, which
Yes.
is impressive to say the least. I mean, just phenomenal work. So something that you should be proud of for being able to enter into such that kind of competition.
A high technical painting competition.
Yeah, exactly. So not for the faint of heart, that's for certain. So
No.
yeah, it impressive to say the least, and I'm hoping to see more of what you can bring forward, Logan. So fantastic.
Awesome. Good job, Logan.
Next up, we got Parker.
We loved Parker's pieces.
Yeah, I spoke in depth with Parker about these pieces. I know that we had mentioned a couple of items that he could work on to push some of the black armor being a bit more of highlights, having some interesting depths. He said that the black armor is mostly blue, which I can believe, and the lenses.
Right. It was one of those models where it's like, is this one of Sci-Fi Singles' best models? And it was just a few things really that just needed, like the lenses of, like here you can tell in the photo that the lenses just disappear.
Yeah.
So you just need to bring some of that brightness into them, even though he was going more by lore accurate model. It just needs that definition of like the light is hitting it in the right spot.
Yeah.
Even if it's just on the one little L on the side that's lit up right now, and then just a little bit on the other side.
Something to show lighting hitting it. So, and Parker did a fantastic job with the model overall. I definitely feel like it sang without it being bombastic.
Right.
So when I'm looking at it, I'm looking at a Star Wars model.
Yes.
I don't feel like I'm looking at like, oh, it's the representation of, or it's trying to be like bright and flashy. It definitely
not.
is just, it is a scary trooper for sure. So, and I love that about it. So we're going to see a couple things from Parker. So it's fantastic to see.
This was fun.
Yeah. Next up, we got his fantasy single, Father Lloyd.
His attempt with working on non-metallic metals.
Yeah, and he said that this was one of his first attempts at non-metallic metal, and which is shocking because it's really good.
Well, and it's consistent. Like the sketchy style really sings with this model.
He said that he worked on that shoulder pad almost as much as the rest of the model itself, which was funny.
And it shows.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Like, this is so fun. He
Yeah.
showed me some of his other models that he's working on for his unit of this, and they all look really cool. I would love to see more of them, especially if you can represent like that shoulder pauldron throughout the rest of the army.
I was quick to point out that his like he had a couple smudges that needed a little bit of work, a little reflections that needed some work, blending. So adding in some glazes and things to make kind of pull those tones around. The cloak needed some additional work for highlights and shadows because it kind of feels a little plain. But like all of this, we had in-depth talks about, and he was really receptive to it. So I'm really excited to see what he has to come up with in the next time that we see him enter. So I'd love to see this one back. It was so cool.
Yeah. Giving that cloak some texture, doing some cross hatching would just make that.
Yeah, giving some texture to it would be awesome.
Cool beans.
So, moving on forward.
We're going to Mike. Now this model.
Yeah. So, we have to have a good hard discussion about the historical category.
Yes, we do.
No one won historical. No one took the historical trophy. Because everyone that won historical or was in historical, which were 2 entries, won in their categories elsewhere. So we couldn't hand out an award again.
Which is fine. It happens. Both entries were really well done, but they just had stronger showings in other categories.
Yeah. This especially impressive to say the least. It's hard to overstate how impressive this piece is. The textures are phenomenal. The skin tones are great. The leathers are good.
The freehand is great.
The freehand's fantastic on the pauldrons, or not the pauldrons, the wristlets.
The non-metallic metal on the saber.
Yeah. Mike, it's crap. I can't believe it. I can't believe you'd enter something like this. Trash.
Yeah. Don't.
Dude, this is incredible. It's so good. Yeah, it really does feel like it's in snow. I want more snow. I think that's my thing.
I would love footprints in the snow.
Oh yeah. I want it to be more in its element. Right now, I feel like the lighting's really good. The textures are really solid. The piece itself is holistically there. I think the basing is just missing a bit.
Yeah, I want a story here.
Yeah.
Like, put me in a little bit bigger of a scene.
Yeah. Give me some hoarfrost on the boots, a bit more in just snow, because I feel like his boots, he's been trudging around in snow, in snowpack. His jacket has it at the bottom, but not anywhere else. I kind of want snow on his shoulders, on the fur around his arms. Give me a little bit of water effects on his boots where it's melted and crushed up around them. Like you said, some footprints in the snow would be great. I think you're at the point now with this that it's just small details to tell the story than the actual model itself for texture and effort.
I just want more of a story. It's beautiful, and for its scale, it is not a large model.
No, it's not. It's very small.
It is a very small model. Even if you wanted to put him up against like a wood fence, a dilapidated wood fence, that would even put it more in scene.
Yeah.
And then have some footprints in the snow. I think that would sell it even more.
Yeah, I could see that. It doesn't need much.
It doesn't. It really doesn't.
It does not mean much, no. But I think that would help kind of sell where it's supposed to be. So yeah.
But I love it. It's so good, and I can tell like this is actually one of Mike's profiles on Discord.
Yeah.
And I can tell why you have it as that.
Yeah.
You could tell you put a lot of effort and love into this model.
Yeah. So and speaking of
this model.
So this Mike's entry, Sump 41, took the Best in Show selection. This took a silver pin at Golden Demon. It definitely is. It's impressive. It's hard to understate how impressive this is. Overstate? I don't know. I'm too tired and running on too little sleep.
It's so good.
Yeah.
The pinstriping, the non-metallic metal, the fitting it into the scene, the bones, the weathering. It's hard to continue describing all the positives of this model.
It's truly an impressive piece, and it really does sing in a way that is just the copper is probably one of the few times that I've seen copper being truly feeling like copper. Honestly, I think that he could get a little verdigris into it, and it would play really nicely with the tones.
You would not need a lot.
No, you would not need a lot. Critiques, because I know that Mike is all about the critiques. He wants the hard talks.
He wants us to be ripping this to shreds.
All right, I'm ripping it to shreds right now. The little glow effects on the dials needs more. Needs way more.
Yeah.
I need to define what that is, because right now it feels like it's
a button.
A button, yeah, or a teal thing. It doesn't really tell me anything about what it is. It's not a symbol. Is it a watch? Is it a dial? What is it?
Yeah, I don't think you need a whole lot more in some cases, but I would probably put more emphasis on like the backside, getting more brightness there.
Yeah.
I know that you also mentioned about weathering, a little bit more weathering and dustiness to the skulls on the base.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the basing needs some work on the front side, and I think that it pulls away in the scene more than I think you were expecting it to. The skulls feel more of an afterthought than an actual like centerpiece of what they should be. Even adding them integrating them more into the basing would be good, and that's one of the bigger things that I think is important in this piece, is that the whole has to feel important. Like this skull back here, it needs more to it. it feels like it's just, you could have gotten away with, I'm sure that's more than this, but from just feeling, it feels like it's just a base coat, a little bit of a wash, some highlight, and that's about it. It doesn't have anything more to the bone. Like those kind of horns should be darker. They're exposed to the sun and to lighting. The bone itself can be bleached, but the horns should be a darker tone, especially for those kind of like animals, antelopes and things. And so I feel like it's some of them feel like a little bit of an afterthought, which makes sense being that you are focused so much on the guy. But
Yeah, just look at him. Like,
yeah, look at him. Look at the man. But yeah, like some patina in the copper. The copper's a little too pretty.
Adding in where like water could be pooling in those crevices and stuff.
Yeah, give me something more. He's supposed to be kind of a, water-esque. I get a water-esque kind of feel to it, and I don't read anything as being water. So because copper should have a slight patina to it for being exposed to water and air.
Right.
And so it's beautiful, but if you really want to sell it to that next level, I think adding in those like little details are going to be, or that little extra nuance will push it to the next level.
Yeah.
So thank you, Mike.
Yes, thank you for joining in this time around.
Yeah, thank you for winning Best in Show. There you go. Yes. Watching.
Steampunk watching.
Steampunk watching. This was a really good example of texture. Like everything felt so texture filled.
This is not the first time he's done basically a study in busts with different textures. The last one the big one that I can really recall is Napoleon era model they brought in with the felt hat, and he did not disappoint with this hat or this jacket or this vest or the shirt. He did a great job.
It's okay.
Solid 7.
Solid 7. No, the differences of texture really sing well in this. I think that there are some areas that you could have pushed more. I think you could have pushed more into color and tone, brought back some vibrancy. I feel like the reds kind of lost their luster and went towards pinks a little too much. The white shirt is excellent, as is the kind of greenish hue on the jacket. But just kind of overall, it feels a little too muted in some areas. So it doesn't really, there's no overt vibrancy to it. And that kind of falls into the skin tones as well. It feels a little too muted and desaturated when I feel like you're trying to have some tones and colors that want to pop a bit more. So it kind of overall feels like it gets lost. And in person, it was a little more than what it is on camera, I feel. On camera, when I'm watching this, I'm going, I don't remember being this kind of like vivid.
Right.
But that honestly, we can blame Axel for how beautiful these things
For
look.
taking fantastic photos.
There's just so many good photos. Anyway, but you are being bullied. But yes, Mike, this is I think this is an excellent model. I believe it pulled a gold coin for sure. And it's definitely an excellent example of you have an understanding of texture extremely well. So it definitely shines in a way that I think it just other busts were going to push past it. And you can't win multiple categories, man. It's just how it goes.
At that point, you're battling yourself.
Yeah, you're fighting yourself, man. You're fighting a losing battle. So, but thank you, Mike, for all of these examples of absolutely gorgeous art, and I'm excited for seeing the next bust that you're about to enter, because it's something special. So
Yes, it
I'm
is.
excited for that. Anyway, next up we've got Ryan Hansen.
These were so fun.
Oh, these were so cool. The white is well executed. It's gorgeous. The decal
The
work.
white with the black, the decals, the red pop with the glass.
Yeah, the blue basing to really offset the red. It just
So good.
so good.
Bless you.
Excuse me.
I would love to see weathering on the feet for snow.
Yep. Yeah, some additional scenery definitely would make this thing pop more. More on the backside with the gray. There's just small nuances on this that you don't need a lot to make it really go to the next level. But like, here's a good example. The gray on the back is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
It has highlights. It has dark. It has shadows, but it just feels kind of plain.
Mm-hmm.
Adding in color or snow or a white, white back here instead of just being on the front would help kind of sell more armor than just front side armor,
Mm-hmm.
So, because right now I just feel like the gray is overwhelming in the back than it is
In
like
the front.
Yeah, in the front. Because the front has a nice mix of white and gray, but the back sides on them just feel like they lost it. And I want more of that, I want more of that white to be kind of universal because it's so well done.
I can see that.
But
You wouldn't need much.
no. And again, this might also, I just thought about this might also be the lacking of us having the knowledge for Battletech, because it's probably some sphere specific army thing and we're just,
Bashing a
Yeah,
specific,
specific
army.
Yeah, exactly. So because it feels intentional, but it just it has a sense of, well, okay,
And it's well executed for what it is.
yes, but that might also be that the gray isn't doing enough to push shadows down into black or blue to give it more interesting aspects to
I
it.
think at that point I would just add a blue shade to push more of the depth
Yeah,
into certain places. So
that's-
then you're complementing the blue that's on the base onto the model.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And I want to confirm. Yeah, this took a gold. So I mean, it's
Well-deserved gold.
Yeah, well-deserved gold. So I'm not at all upset by that statement either. But I think you're right. Like pushing down into some blue, because then that would work really well with the crystals on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like it's outside of the realm of what it's good for like having that blue and then pushing the black. So, but Ryan, excellent, well deserved.
Great job.
Next up, we got Ryan. Again, part 2, the return of Ryan.
The freehand.
The freehand is fantastic.
Oh my gosh.
The freehand flames, so cool. The gray and the metallic, also well executed, well done. I love how it just looks like it's just getting hit in the side. It's so cool. The green cockpit against the red.
And the battle damage on the opposite side of the chassis.
So cool.
And the weathering on the feet.
Yes, the weathering on the feet's really well done. Just, yeah, overall, a fantastic piece. We had some difficulty with the feet. They felt a little off, a little weird in how they're placed, and we understood that the basing too.
Yeah.
But it's just it's odd placement. One of the foots feels off. The left hand or the right hand foot.
His right hand foot.
Yeah.
But I think that's just how it is, maybe.
Yeah, the positioning and such.
And again, our knowledge of BattleTech is not that it's not existent. It's just we're not as well versed.
I know BattleTech is a game. That's about it for me.
But we love the paint jobs that we see.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with that. I think that this is another example of pushing blue into black to deepen it and give it interesting depth rather than it just kind of being gray. And especially playing against that red for the flames would be awesome to see. Adding in a little bit of rust effect on the metallics, giving some sheen to it. Maybe even adding in a bluing on the guns would be really cool. There's a lot that you can do to kind of push this up to the next level, and so kind of I think you're not lacking in the freehand department.
No.
Though. So like the detail work is fantastic. It's just pushing in those little extra bits.
Yep.
So
I would
bet,
agree.
man, an entire army of this would look fantastic.
It'd be terrifying.
Yeah, it would be. So, all right. Well, thank you, Ryan, for this awesome entry. Kevin with the Brazen Bull.
This took in its category.
It did, and there's a good reason for that. There were multiple individuals that were walking by going, did it take it? Yeah, good.
Look at that glow on that eye.
Man, all of this non-metallic is fantastic. The skin tones, excellent. The glow
gem
effects,
work.
great. The gem work, good. The braiding, great. Is just...
But this is also a great example of what we were talking about of trying to avoid with skin tones and making muscle islands. Some of the depth of the color on, especially like the back of this bowl, you can see each individual muscle, and this one is right here. It's not so bad. This one is a bit better with the arm. You can see the definition between the bicep and the deltoid going up to the deltoid, and there should be a bit of mid-tone that brings it together.
Yeah.
Because it's not that they're disconnected. They need to be melded together a little bit better.
Yeah, yeah. As I understand it, from what I've heard on miniature painting for it, what it was told to me is the muscles are differentiated below the skin, but you're looking at the skin, not at the muscles.
Correct.
So having them be different will feel off because you are looking at them on the surface. You should have a divot, a shadow, but not having them be not connected in some fashion.
Well, even in like the same picture here, down by his ankle near his hoof, it feels well defined. It's not. There's no muscle island there.
Yeah.
It's a defined muscle group without it being overtly divided.
Yeah, exactly.
But you lose that as you go up towards the face and the chest and its arms.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, the singing the praises of this thing, the non-metallic metals, phenomenal. I mean, just it is a unique piece, and I cannot imagine what this looks like for Trench Crusade as an entire force. It's crazy. Oh, one thing, I don't know that we have a really good picture of it, but there's a spot on the top of the tank on the back that the highlight feels a little too much. It's too broad when it should kind of be broken up, and then it has like a line rather than it being an eye or a dot, and then it pulls out.
Yeah, I don't think we have a good picture of it.
There is a spot. So for Kevin, this is between us, Kevin. Thanks for coming to our session here. But the that spot on the back tank just needs a little bit of love because it feels a little too
stark.
Yeah, as opposed to the rest of it. So
it just needs to be blended in a little bit better, and I think you have it at that point.
Yeah, it's not such a huge issue, but you have such a great understanding of non-metallic metal, and that's obvious. So I think that you could probably correct it if you wanted to, but overall though, an incredible piece. Beautiful, amazing to look at. So thank you so much. Oh, one last thing that I'll say. The basing. So for this really well executed piece, I feel like the basing is lacking. It feels like it's just kind of contrasted in rather than it actually being like executed to a level that is to the same point as this piece overall. And I want more from the basing. If it's even like weathering powder is mixed together to give you some additional texture and feeling, some dustiness, some tufts, leaves, broken, exploding shells. I don't know. It just needs something more than what it is, because the piece itself is really amazing, but the basing that it sits on is very plain, and I think it almost takes away, for me, it takes away from the piece rather than adding to it.
One more praise from me. The irritation from where all these piping is going into the skin is really well done.
Yes, it is. It's super. It's not pink, because of course the rest of the skin tones are pink. It's got like this orange infected kind of feel to it.
It's gross,
Yeah.
and for this model, it's perfect.
Yes, it is. It's well executed. So yeah. Anyway, thank you, Kevin. I appreciate you coming to our session.
Yes, thank you, Kevin.
Yeah.
Another
one from
Kevin.
Kevin. Hey, Kevin.
I did talk to Kevin about his backpacks on
Oh,
these.
okay. Perfect. I'm glad to hear it.
And he mentioned that he did not get time to add the love that to the backpacks as
that's
much as
too
he
bad.
wanted to. But I did sing his praises of his weapons, his highlighting. I know Axel mentioned just adding more drama to the units.
Yeah. The lighting. Yeah, she had pointed out the lighting on the units overall. And
Like right there, you can kind of see the backpacks are like, and some of them are more highlighted green than others, and they just need more love.
yeah, it's really, you have an understanding of lighting, and that's very apparent. But I think knowing that you got kind of a rundown of, hey, the backpacks haven't had enough love, I'm going to go back and look at that. Absolutely. I think that that's a great critique and criticism, and then going back and running with it. The backside of the legs feel weird to me, because if they're standing around a fire and that glow of the fire has a direction to it, the green that is on the backside of the legs feels weird. It doesn't have the same kind of lighting effect it looks odd to me, rather than it feeling like it makes sense. I don't know if that's necessarily adding blues to it, but like here, you can see at the bottom of the legs there, it's not illuminated by fire. It feels the same brightness as on the front, where there's lighting, specific lighting effect. And so it feels like it's out of place. And dulling this down would probably go a long way, or adding a blue hue for like the night time or something along those lines to kind of, pull that feeling overall of that nighttime moonlight kind of feel would go a long way. But as it stands right now, it just feels very like you have OSL in the front and then general lighting in the back that doesn't have any shadow. So it feels weird and kind of missing the mark in my book.
But overall, like that shot there is really cool. Just with the blade is painted to the way that it's in firelight.
Yeah.
And that's impressive.
Yeah, like this, when looking at these models, the firelight, you have a specific feeling of how lighting should fall on a model, which is really impressive, because this doesn't feel like it's just taking an airbrush and hitting it with a yellow hue. It feels like you've definitely lovingly applied the tone for lighting into these greens and over top to make it really pop, and that's what's really impressive here. So like this if it was this quality overall, I think this would be a best in show for sure. Like it is impressive, to say the least.
Well done.
Yeah, well done. Thank you, Kevin. We got one more from Kevin.
And we talked about this one too.
Oh boy.
Just explaining like how much we enjoyed this model.
Yeah.
And funny enough, he had entered this into a different painting competition, and we have the same critiques on it.
Oh, good to know.
So
good to know we're consistent with other people.
that's what I told him.
Woo, I can stop sweating
so
now.
One of the biggest critiques that I had mentioned to him, because you were out of the room, was that the basing was lacking. And that's exactly what the other critique was from the other competition he had. I'm like, you don't even have to add too much. It's just
Yeah.
a tuft, a skull, just adding something to vary what's on the base.
Yep.
We loved the reddish purple undertone
Oh, yeah,
of the entire model.
Yeah, the undertone beneath the blue, this kind of almost sky blue at times, felt so cool to have this underlayer for the shadow of a red brown that was, I mean, inspiring for me. I went away from it being like, wow, okay, I have an understanding now of something that I can do. That was really cool. I mean, that's a great shot right there to kind of show it. And it's, honestly, you have, again, it goes back to, you have a really good understanding of how lighting should fall and how lighting should go. You just have to, basing, and then, what was the other critique that we had?
Were we wanting to put a little bit more weathering powder on the foot, or was that too much?
No, it was a little bit of, like, putting it in scene, I think, is the important bit on this. There was a little bit of a weirdness to me on the gun itself. Feels a little stark as compared to almost the softness of the armor and the non-metallic metals. So there's a sense of the gun being a little sharp, if that makes sense. Like the black is a little sharper than it should be. Same with the the red on the casing is a little bit sharper than the cloth. And I get that the texture should be different, but it feels like there's a distinct it just doesn't, maybe I'm missing the mark on this, but it doesn't feel like it matches in the best way for me. But
comparing it to the cloth?
Yeah, comparing it to the cloth and comparing it to the rest of the piece, it feels like it's very sharp as opposed to the rest, which feels kind of softened. And I'm not necessarily sure if I'm using the best terminology for that. It's been a long weekend. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's I don't mind that it's personally, and this also proves a point that everybody has a different view of what is good and what is bad in their own eyes.
Kevin, this is terrible. I can't believe that. Yeah, awful. I can't believe you did enter this.
I like that it's a slightly lighter hue than it is of the cloth, because it shows that this is made somewhere different from the cloth.
That makes sense.
It's also like a metal casing versus a cloth casing, so it shows different texture.
That's fair.
And I pointed out that I liked how he made his triangle, and I explained the triangle to him, and he's like, yeah, I really wanted to focus on having that aspect and the focal points. And I'm like, you hit it really well on this.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, there's nothing in particular that set this one not winning or like really unable to take its category. It was just
It was a stacked category.
It was a stacked category, and this was in final contention. So it's not like it was a poor choice. It was more of a just it needed a little bit more, and I think that when we discussed it, it was basically the basing needed more to be a whole piece, and as it stood right now, it needs that little bit more.
And even if you wanted to bring it back to another Renegade, or even the Excalibur Con, or even Con of the North next year, I would do it.
Yeah, I would definitely see this again. I'd want to see this again because it was impressive. So yeah, thank you, Kevin. Next up, Chris Parker.
This model.
Oh my God. The Mimic.
So
who here, show of hands, hates mimics? I hate mimics. Anyway.
Playing against a mimic, sure.
Yeah. Being a DM and having one.
Painting mimics is fun.
It's fair.
Now, I had talked to Chris as he was bringing this in, and he said that this was the model that helped him get back into painting.
Which is obvious. There's something about it that's very whimsical, terrifying and whimsical.
You could tell he had fun.
Yes, this is definitely one of those models that screams, I had a blast painting this. I think he really did a great job on the non-metallic metals. The textures are really solid. It feels like the tongue feels fleshy. The wood feels wood-like. I like
teeth.
The teeth feel gross. There's like an undertone of green that's held between the wood and the books and the non-metallics that really hold well. So it feels like it's a holistic piece rather than kind of disparate parts. He has shadows where they need to be. He's got just excellent choices on this piece to feel like a whole piece.
Mm-hmm.
Just it's hard for me to articulate just how much I enjoy this as a fun piece that you can really get into.
Yeah, I think I recall him when he bought this model. I had pointed it out to him. I'm like, isn't this just fun? And he's like, yeah, you're right. This is fun. I'm going to get this model. And I'm like, good. I'm glad that you're going to try it out.
Yeah.
And he took it and ran.
Yeah, he did. He ran with this one.
And he just did a great job.
Yeah. Yeah, it really goes to show, like, if you find the right model and it can inspire you, you can go a long way with it. I know that there's a portion of his non-metallic on the top that just sings for me, and I don't know if we have a good shot of it, but you
can see kind of the back of it at some point here.
Yeah, but he did such an excellent job in taking this model and making it feel like a really good
Kinda
solid
right
mimic.
there.
Yeah, like right here. There's just portions of this non-metallic that really pop. He could clean this up and do a little bit more with it. I think having the non-metallics be a bit cleaner could be beneficial. But as a piece, and same with like highlighting the books, giving the books pages rather than just being a solid green, could be beneficial. But as it stands right now, it's a great piece to just have it be.
And it's a fun piece to just have on your shelf and be like, yeah, I painted that. That's a lot. It was just a fun get back into painting model.
Yeah, and if you ever have a mimic that pops out on the table that you're fighting, this is
I'd put that on.
Yeah, oh yeah, in a heartbeat. That would be amazing. But yeah, there's small things that I would do to push, but as like I'm returning the painting and I'm trying to get back into the love of the art. This is a fantastic, well done piece.
I agree. Good job, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
You got a Kirby.
Kirby. So this is his cat. The name of his cat. Sorry, it's not his literal cat. It'd be a little weird.
It would be a little weird.
Seek help.
A mechanical cat.
A mechanical cat. This is really good. He did a great job. He did the oil dot filter technique where you take like different dots of oil paints and you dot it all over the place, and then you take the brush and like go all over the place and blend them into the armor to give it kind of a nice feel. And he did a great job with it.
That's a new technique I haven't heard of. So
yes, it's a very cool way to like add different colors to a surface without like blending them together. So yeah, very cool. He did a great job in weathering, applying decals, freehand, non-metallics, different textures, things of that nature.
Well, and the different types of weathering too, like your non-metallic on your thing on your backpack versus your gold on the shoulder pauldrons is really nice.
Yeah, I think some tightening up of the non-metallics would be better. It would seem better. I think the backpack's a really good example of really well done non-metallic steel, but like the gold trim feels a little off.
It just needs a bit more blending.
Yeah, and same with the like the filigree. Yeah. On the front, I feel like it needs more. It doesn't have what I'm trying to capture, what I'm trying to see for capturing the feeling of gold. It feels more like painted yellow that's been weathered. And I don't know that I have the right experience in gold, in non-metallics, to really give good whole advice on it. I would definitely seek someone out that has a good experience with non-metallics.
I would think Flameon would be a great
Flamion's really good
a
for that.
great look on
Yeah.
on YouTube for him. He has his own set in
Mhm.
Pro Acryl on gold, on non-metallic gold.
Speaking of, just as an aside, really good yellows, just yellows and browns in general.
Yes.
Love that set. I would buy that set in a heartbeat again. But digress.
Yeah.
I think Flameon, asking some persons around in the community that have experience with non-metallic metals and really strong non-metallic metals might be able to help. And I know that Chris did ask for help, but I think, and I know that he did ask specifically for the non-metallics, but I think some additional workshopping would probably help and go a long way with it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But it's really well done.
yeah, it is really well done. So, and tufts.
All the tufts.
All the tufts. So, maybe some integration into the basing would feel a little bit more whole too. I feel like it's kind of just placed. If that makes sense. So,
Maybe add like a footstep behind where that rock
Yeah,
was, where
yeah.
it like moved forward.
yeah, a little bit of mud on the base where it would be. So,
That'd be fair.
yeah.
Cool
All
beans.
right. Cool beans. Thanks, Chris. We'll see you next time. Christian. Yeah.
So this model took it took the category in
Yeah,
open.
it did take the category for open. Yeah.
There were aspects of this model that we absolutely adored. The scythe with the weathering of the patina on that was really well done. There's one side which we'll get to, you can kind of see it on this picture, but we'll get a better picture view of it right soon. And it's right of the front neck of the steed up to its front leg.
Here, I pause it
Yeah,
here.
right
yeah.
here. We feel like that part of the model sings.
Oh yeah, no, this is great. This skin is fantastic. It's really cool.
Like this is Nurgle at its finest, right here.
Dead, rotting, decay, but still moving. Like this is really well done.
We wish that this would have continued on with the rest of the model.
Yep. There's aspects of this that like you really did pull this forward, but it needs more, and tightening it up more would be beneficial to the overall piece. That front side of the horse, if you have it that skin tone to the rest of it, excellent.
Yeah.
If you have that kind of level of disgusting, it's going to work elsewhere. I want more from the cloth.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like it's just, it doesn't have enough highlighting to it. You have the deep decay. You have that kind of gross green and shading, but you need some highlighting to really offset it. It's not washed out per se. It's just
It just needs more highlights.
yeah, it needs more highlights. It needs to be boosted up a bit more, adding in texture, some stippling for that brighter color, and then knocked back down would probably help. Like adding in those small textures and details are going to make it pop that much more, especially as it's standing in in these leaves and fall-like structure. It'll help kind of sell that fall, feeling of decay.
Mm-hmm.
I know we've seen harbingers of decay in the past of like winter scenes and just in gross swamps and all sorts, but I really like the idea of it just being in a fall forest and just something about that of decay and leaves falling and the sunsetting of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall a fun piece. It just needs a bit more.
Yep. It has all of the aspects, all the smackings of good, a good piece. It just needs that extra push.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd love to see this again. Fantastic.
Another Christian with
Yep.
with Rodigus.
Rodriguez. Yeah, this is a gross model. We were told by our photographer, Axel, that this was a very difficult model to capture on film. He too thick.
You dummy thick.
Dummy thick. Extra cues. Great example of skin tones that are green. It just needs that extra punch.
Mm-hmm.
It has a lot to it that's really good. I like the shadows being in place, but it just needs that extra bit of highlighting to make it just pop.
I love the definition of the horns. We thought the copper was too pink.
Too pink. Yep. It's far too pink. Start leaning towards a little bit more of that red, because you have the pink down flat, but adding in a little bit more red to push it, or reds and browns to push it towards that side of the copper element would be good, because right now it kind of reads as rose gold more than copper. And being a little more aggressive with the patina as well. Adding in patina, wiping it away, adding in patina, wiping it away, things like that.
I'd love to see more definition of the teeth versus the face color. It gets kind of lost.
Yeah, it does. It really does. Same with the cloth in the back. Feels a little lost. So. But
the horns look fantastic. I love the two different variations of the browns. You get like a green brown, and then you get a brown.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of little things on this model that definitely pop. It's just, it needs that extra little bit, that extra little step. And I think that's kind of a thing for Christian, as we'll see in the next one, too.
Love the freehand on this thing.
God.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh.
All right. So I want to continue the thought. It just needs that extra little bit to make it pop, because you have aspects to your models that are incredibly well done, but then you just need that extra little bit of focus elsewhere to make the model that much better. An example of something that you did that much better, as Kelsey said, the freehand.
That was so much fun. I oogled over the freehand on this model.
Drooled. We had to get paper towels.
Yes.
It was bad.
I had so many paper towels here.
So many. I think it's Castle Ravenloft, honestly.
He did say it was.
It is Castle Ravenloft?
That's what I asked. I was like,
Heck
oh,
yeah.
He's like, cool, thanks.
Sick. I did it.
And then I also like this. Skeletons are not a big model in AOS, and you did like brass on the head of that flag.
Yeah.
Non-metallic, very well done. It reads as it.
Yeah.
I want more brightness on the non-metallic on the armor.
Yeah. Or giving some rust effects.
Yes.
On the metals, more on the reds. The cloth needs a bit more wear and tear, some browns and some of the like texture for rips, wearing and tearing, that kind of thing. Right now it just reads as kind of a brighter cloth color, when you could really push the texture and the rattiness.
And I would probably go one more brightness higher on the face of the skeleton to make that focal point pop more.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree with that.
Especially right there, it melds into the darkness, which is really cool. But you need to get like the bridge of the skeletal nose.
Yeah.
The bridge, or the highest points of the cheekbones, and I think you would have it.
Yeah. It doesn't need a lot.
No, not at all.
But yeah, a excellent exercise in freehand though. Fantastic.
So fun.
Lots of oogling.
So
Lots
much,
of
especially from me.
Yeah, especially from Kelsey.
Queen Death, Accidental Death Army.
Yep. Whoops, all Vampiric Undead.
Yep.
Next up.
Another skeleton, which I absolutely Googled over.
Yeah, this is really cool. So
this was the free model of the month from GW.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, and it's impressive. We really like this one. It was good and bright, very skeleton coming out of the ground and smashing into your face kind of feel. That being said, it was washed. It had the washed quality to it. Definitely a play model. Had that quality to it of if you have quantity has a quality all its own on the tabletop. If you were to try and push this to the next level, definitely adding in some texture on the armor, taking away that washed out kind of feel, adding in texture onto the blue for a kind of worn out cloth. those kind of next level items are going to be the areas that you're going to want to push into, I would say.
Yeah, I would agree. And then I would highlight a bit more of the knuckles on the blade of the main skeleton, and the hand on the blade of the skeleton
Yeah.
that's currently upright, along with maybe even the hand of the blade of the skeleton that's coming out of the ground.
Oh, yeah, true. Very much so.
Then you're getting kind of like an isosceles triangle of the one hand going up to the next hand, and then going up to the face, and then going back down. But yeah, cleaning up your blues on the cloth by the legs, and sharpening up the highlights on the helmet with the blue, and maybe a little bit of edge highlighting on the shield with the green.
Yep.
I think you have it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's not going to take a lot. It's going to take work, but it's not going to take a lot.
No,
So,
not at all.
but next up, one of the most uncomfortable units I've ever run across in my entire life.
She has plans for
I know.
this unit.
I'm scared. This is the Mournful Mothers. Every single one has a fetus that she made with, what was it? Translucent clay?
Resin, translucent clay, and polymer clay.
Resin,
And polymer clay.
resin,
UV resin.
yeah, UV resin, clay, and polymer clay.
It's so unsettling.
I'm uncomfortable. This was awesome, though.
It
was
was
super
sick.
cool. It was sick. She did such a good job and executed on a plan to have, like, these very unique feeling models. If anything, I just want blends to be better.
Mm-hmm.
I love the execution of just the weird and the gross and the feel. It's a very viscerally feeling unit, but like the reds into the oranges into the yellows is really good. I want more from it. I think she could work through blending on the black too of the cloth,
Giving depth into the black.
yeah. Like there's not much more than I'm really wanting from the rest of it from like just it's a unique standpoint, and I don't necessarily know that I want to comment on the painting for like whatever those individual units are of the floating fetuses is the best way to put it. But like the mothers themselves feel like they need some more to the skin and to the cloth to make them feel less or more defined, rather than just relying on the UV resin to pop it, you know.
They're so interesting.
That's a good way of putting. That's a really good word for this army.
It's fascinating.
It is.
Like having like a parent that's been in nursing and a medical background, and just seeing this and just being like, I see where they're going with it. It makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah. You should show your mom these. These would be cool. But like, yeah, Kai has some really cool stuff lined up in the future, and I think that for her, it's just tightening up the cloth and the skin, and you know, making sure that she's got kind of differentiation for the units themselves, and it's there.
Yeah.
Ugh.
In a good way. Ugh.
Yeah, I think that when we were all uncomfortable, she was like, "That's kind of what I'm going for." So
And it's like, well, you're hitting it.
yeah, you're hitting it, you're crushing it.
Jordan
with the sci-fi single, Zilk.
Zilk. Rats.
Rats.
So many rats.
So many rats.
There are 2 rats on this bottle.
Yeah,
Look at that rat.
I love the green. The green and the
The
brown.
mossy green.
Yeah, the mossy green. It just has a nice quality to it that really shines nicely. It has a dirty quality, but has the individual pieces really nicely picked out. It has a nice undertone without it feeling overwashed. He definitely picks out highlights and runs with them. So.
Well, I feel like it's all in universe.
Yeah.
Everything's consistent about it.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know that I feel like anything is necessarily missing, But that being said, we wanted more highlights from it. Additional, it's got a lot of busyness, but you're all kind of playing in the midtones. So your shadows are really solid, but your midtones are where you're stopping, and you need to pull that up to your highlights.
Right,
I would
and
say more than where
it
you
might
are.
even help with putting a little bit more contrast into it, getting your shadows deeper.
Yeah, I could see that too. Like pushing those browns a bit darker, pushing those
Like
browns
I
a
don't
bit more.
like you could go like maybe one step higher on highlights and then another step down into shadows.
Yeah, I could see that. You could see that for sure. Yeah, and this was, I enjoy this model a lot.
Oh yeah, it is a wonderful model. I have no quarrels with it. Those are just some of the things that I would think if you wanted to add more depth to it, I would do. That would be what I would try first.
Yeah, absolutely. So, next up, rats.
More rats.
More rats. This had the quality that felt a little overwashed at times. You definitely don't dip too far into the overwashing category, but Jordan, you just need a bit of highlight, I think, and extra textures on like the metallics, especially. But this,
Show me those edges.
yeah, show those edges nicely, pop them out a bit, adding in some rust effects to the metals to make them shine a bit more. But overall, this is a really cool model. It's just little things that need to make it sing. I think you're
there. You're getting there.
yeah, your color palette for what you're choosing makes sense, and executed well. It's just you need to boost up those additional highlights a bit more, darken those shadows a bit, adding in a bit of weathering in your sold. So, very cool model. Rats.
So many rats.
Love them rats.
Yeah, you're
yeah.
as someone who's getting into rats.
It's a dangerous. It's a deep hole. I'm going towards the red wall rats.
Yes.
Love my red wall rats.
So cool.
Anyway, thank you, Jordan.
Another Jordan.
This one, I want to pause on this one for a bit because this was a very interesting piece. The display board itself is incredible. I loved the color choices, the textures, the storytelling aspect, the details. There was always something that I could turn and look at and really enjoy when I was looking at this model. It had great application. And again, like I said, the little details. I could play a whole skirmish game on this board and never be bored by it. It was so cool. And I think that speaks well to it, where it's like, I wanted to play a game on this rather than just look at it from a display perspective.
Or even seeing as weird as much as I'm sure he probably doesn't really want to, but put it on a larger board and see what else is in this universe.
Yeah, I could see that. Or having another board next to it to expand. That being said, I thought that the display board itself was a good piece, but the models on top needed more to them. And some consistency. You had mentioned the consistency about the metallics.
Yes, there's the one in the center and then the one on your left. It's right when you're looking out from it. That one, and then the next one that just got displayed, and then that one. The metallics are the two have the same metallics. The first two had the same metallics, and then the third one does not. It kind of was a bit jarring to have that bit of difference, unless you're trying to portray that one is like passed away sooner or earlier. And then the other one was more recent. In which case, you got to have your board kind of tell that story.
Yeah, and that's like difficulties of having a unit or pulling in a different model from the unit or to the unit because it's like for a skirmish game or something along those lines. I feel like it's a really well executed board. The unit on top needed more.
Yep.
I would agree. Yeah, it need that. If you're trying to sell a scene, give me a scene with guys in it. That's the difficult part, is like you need something alongside of it. I would have loved to see more models on this to give kind of a battle scene or a sacrifice or something along those lines. It was such a unique feeling item, more than just the board. It had a lot of storytelling potential, and I think that the unit on top needed more to it to tell that story.
Right.
So, but
other than that, it was fun to see.
yeah, it was just a unique style item. So a unique style piece. You know what? One other thing, the eyes. Some of the eyes glowed, and some of the eyes didn't, and that was a little weird. Like they had a etherealness to them, but some glowed brighter, and some didn't glow at all. And like the one on the door didn't glow, but the one on the side of the building or side of the hill did. And so it just, I don't know, keeping that consistent would have been.
That nor creating make us understand the lore by being able to see it visibly on the model itself.
Yeah.
Or the board. I know that's hard to do without actually putting it into words, but just maybe have a model that's like staking a sacrifice onto an eye to represent that it's glowing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, thank you, Jordan. Oh, I've been handed a model, a dog. It was a really good dog.
Bark, bark.
We can't show this model, but it's really cool.
It's a happy dog.
It is a happy dog. All right. Next up, David with the Anchorite. I'm gonna pause really quick before we get into David's model and review Axel's dog, which I'm sorry that you guys won't be able to see this, but it's a excellent manuscript dog.
A manuscript dog from Adventures in Doggos?
Adventure,
Or Dungeons and Dogs.
Adventures, yeah, whatever it is.
Dungeons and Doggos.
This is really cool, Axel. Holy crap. I love
The
this thing.
reds, the blues, the
Yeah.
greens.
Oh my.
It's
Oh
very
my, yeah.
it's very cute.
I love it. You really executed well on it. We'll have to get pictures up on the Discord. Oh,
Well, look at that. If
crushed it.
well, then you can look on the Discord,
Yeah.
on Dwarven Axe Discord.
Yeah, on the 17th of May at 5:04 p.m.
Yeah.
Central Time. Anyway, we'll get into David's here. David David entered this in kind of last minute, and he wasn't sure if he wanted to or not. But I'm glad he did, because we got to speak at length, because he was asking for some good feedback. And man, this model is so cool.
It really sings with these photos.
Yeah, it pulled a lot of folks in, and it speaks to Trench Crusade. It's got just a Trench Crusade feel. The shield having the iconography on it, and he actually said that he printed it out, and then he weathered it and added some sepia tones to it, and like really he got some clear coat on it for like a Mod Podge kind of style thing, and then went from there and just started weathering the hell out of it. And it just, man, it's so good.
Yeah.
It feels like it's been
Painted on there.
painted on and then weather worn, and so good.
Well executed.
Yeah, well executed. I know that my particular things that I spoke to him about was more about the blood effects, because the blood effects feel at scale, they don't feel quite right. The blood itself is unique, but it doesn't have that quality of like scale blood. Some of it's dried, some of it's not. Some of it's big splotches that don't make sense, especially for how big this thing is supposed to be. And so we are speaking about, blood effects and how to kind of like separate them out, especially on the shield. The shield has a lot of these big like blob areas of blood, when they would be more rivulets going down, and then having a dried effect, and then being filled in with like smaller areas of fresh blood. I think that same could be said about the weapon, and then adding like scratches on the weapon with a brighter silver to kind of make it pop more were things that we talked about. And I thought that this is a really cool piece that turned heads, so it definitely has qualities to it. But yeah, I thought that was where I kind of came up with my thoughts.
Yeah, I would love to see more, like right in this photo, you have the staining of the blood dripping off from the lamb, showing more of the wool getting saturated rather than being dripping off. Wool is pretty absorbent.
Yeah.
So it's not really going to drip off like when you pour something off of a table.
Yeah.
It's not going to dribble as much. It's going to get saturated.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I think that it's a good example of something that he could push toward, like correcting a bit, and playing with a bit more of that, how the blood should fall. And I'll pause it there. Yeah, like soaking in some of that area and even having it very watered down, and then pushing the brightness of the blood soaked into the wool would be beneficial.
Yeah, and with that, it would just be watering down your blood effect to almost a glaze consistency.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Having it be kind of moving about. Yeah, here you can pause there. Yeah, soaking it into the wool a bit more would be beneficial. So.
Also, I really love the gold leaf effect that you did on the center eye of the chest piece.
Yeah, that biblically
really
accurate angel
so
is
good.
awesome. It's so cool. It's such a excellent job. So, we got more Davids.
Awesome.
David, Papa Smurf.
Papa Smurf.
We also spoke at length on this about kind of. He agreed with our biggest critique on this was the metallics and how they weren't feeling done, and he agreed. He was like, "Yep, I didn't do anything more than the basics." But he was very proud of the skin tones, and I said that he should be proud of those.
Yes.
So this is an excellent example of just base tones carrying a lot, and then you're at a great point of being kind of in the middle of the process. So highlights, lowlights, adding in textures, adding in weathering, and then you're pretty much there.
Yeah.
So this is a good starting point of like, okay, I've hit all the difficult stuff. Now it's time for the fun things.
Right.
Now it's fun. Now it's time to really like make this model interesting.
Make it sing. Make it tell the rest of the story.
Yeah, and he agreed with that, and he thought it was good feedback. And I mean, I thought that I agreed that it was great feedback from me. But it really, like, as being a receptive person to it, David was very like agreeing and giving thoughtful retort on why he felt that he was kind of in that space too. And so it was really exciting to hear him be passionate and excited to move forward with the next stage of this piece. So.
Right. I will mention also there. I don't know if there's a good picture of it. There is when you're on the model and you're looking to the right side of the squig, there is a mold line there that I noticed. It goes right behind its neck, and it goes straight down.
Oh, okay.
I would, if you even wanted like figure out, you could make that even a scar if you wanted to.
Oh yeah.
You could very well paint up a scar to cover that up and then make it tell a story that way.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Or you can make stitches. That would work too.
That's a good idea too. Yeah.
There's ways you can hide those kind of imperfections in your painting to make it tell a story.
Yeah.
And that way you don't have to go back and sand it down if you don't want to.
Yeah. Especially after it's being painted. Bleh.
Yeah.
So yeah. So thank you, David. And we got one more from David. The unit.
The Torture Squad.
So he said that he actually used Villainy inks for this with the skin, like skin texture. Yeah, it's gross. Yeah.
Trench Crusade.
Yeah, it's Trench Crusade. All right. Blood effects galore. Fantastic. And this went into the whole discussion of like less is more with blood. Add only what you need, and then also kind of going into the dried blood versus wet blood. This is an excellent example of like him trying out different techniques and different paints and different styles and seeing what's working for him.
It's a great experiment.
Yeah, it is. And we talked at length about this one too. I'm excited to see what he does more with this because I think that it's it's a good exercise in using skin tones and blood to make things pop. in a really positive way. Gross, but positive way.
For sure.
So yeah, like I think that the cloth being really gross and disgusting, almost feeling rusty, is actually a positive thing. You could add some texture to it with weathering powders, like watered down weathering powders to make it give it that dusty kind of gross feel.
Because when it's rubbing up against the metal, the fibers are gonna catch that debris, and
Yeah.
it's gonna linger on cloth.
Yeah.
That's just how cloth works.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that he's got a good direction in what he's doing here, and to execute more on it would be beneficial. So
Yes.
so
Cool beans.
yeah, thank you, David, for these entries. They're fantastic. And then we round out with our final entry.
Parker,
Parker.
you're back.
You're back. Welcome back, sir. It's been a long time. I have a particular soft spot in my heart for the green hue, like the desaturated green and gray and orange. I think it's fantastic. I asked Parker about this palette, and he kind of gave me some tips on what he was using for the green. So I'm very excited to get some dark sea green, as opposed to dark sea blue. I can hear Rob Seeley already.
Dark sea blue.
He's already praising the dark sea blue. But in this case, I loved the softness that he had on the cloth. It feels so good. And from like a Trench Crusade standpoint, it's so encouraging to see just not another dirty, mucked up unit. It has a particular stance and feeling in universe that doesn't necessarily, you don't have to do super mucked up. So, and Parker and I talked about this unit specifically too. So when we had originally approached this, Kelsey, we were mentioning about the wash and how everything had a wash feel on it, and there's washes here and they're not really highlighted. He used 0 washes. However, he used contrasts.
So that would be it.
So that would be it. So yes, it has an element, and he did say that on some of these pieces he really did rush through some of them because he got signed up for the event last second, and so he had to really make it work. So and being in a crunch time, he did a hell of a job.
Oh yeah. And he learned a lot. He found out about the pink trick with yellow and putting pink down so that yellows bright or show off more.
Yep.
He talked to me for a while about the rifle sniper.
Yeah, the Sniper Priest.
About the basing that he did for that. He took stir sticks and cut them up into smaller pieces.
Oh, cool.
And made his own like trench wall.
Duckboard kind of stuff. That's cool.
So, and he's like, this is the thing I'm most proud of.
Hell yeah.
And it shows. Like you added the skulls into the basing, and we could tell you were having fun with this duckboard here.
I think that this Sniper Priest is my favorite. The softness of the cloth is really well done. You definitely took and ran with having, you took special care of this unit, and I think it shows. I know I did when I was looking at it. This was in contention for the unit's prize,
Best in show.
not
best in show, but
for
best
category.
for category.
Yeah, and it really does show a reason. There's a reason why, and so I'm like
tighten up the other ones
Yep.
to get them all up to that par on that
par.
model.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think you're going to be up for contention for unit and even higher than that.
Yeah. Same with the blade on the big guy. There's a little smudge on it, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's from play." Apparently, it's smudged from play, and I'm like, "Oof, that sucks." But like just adding in little scratches and things would make this thing pop really well. So it's such a cool unit and awesome. I mean, this is a whole army basically.
Right.
So awesome to see. I love looking at the Trench Crusade stuff, and Parker does such a fantastic job presenting them. I can't wait to see more pictures of these things because they're fantastic. So, yeah.
Well done, Parker.
Yeah, well done. Excellent work. So, and with that wraps it.